Before we get into the show, we want to apologize in advance for the audio quality of this week's episode. As you know, we all record from different parts of the world and are not particularly equipped to record locally without a lot of prep and additional equipment. So with Tom here in Phoenix with me this week, we had to make do with what we had and hope for the best. Unfortunately, the result wasn't as clean as we had hoped, and we were forced to use a lower quality reference track, which has far more background noise than we would have liked. If this is your first episode with us, please know this isn't common, and we hope you're able to look past it to the content within. Thanks and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is April 7th, 2019. My name is Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Tom Reagan, here.
Oh, for fun.
Oh, for fun.
I couldn't find an O for fun mug, so I'm drinking Wisconsin.
Well, my people in my coffee mug have put their clothes back on.
Oh, because it's got too cold?
Yeah. We got Mr. Dan Curtis.
Hello. Hello.
Are your clothes on?
Possibly.
Oh.
Certainly top half. Top half. Bottom half, not so much.
Just perfectly dressed from right down to the waist, and then it's
No,
just...
I imagine his just down to the nipples. Like, there's a reason that his shirt doesn't go down any further.
It's one of those crop tops like the girls wear, you know?
Yeah, he's gone to the effort to make the button down one cut as well, so it really looks...
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine if you telecommuted and had to have a webcam on to make sure that you were at your desk, that's what you'd do.
Oh, yeah.
Even, like, cut the tie.
I've been working from home this week, so maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, you blew up your car, didn't you?
Yeah, I blew up my car.
So, tell us about that. How did you do it?
I drove it.
Poorly.
And then it blew up. So I was driving. I was nearly at work, and I went on the motorway, and then when I got up to 60 miles an hour, the oil warning light came on, and I thought, that doesn't look good.
Have you been changing the oil regularly?
No.
Oh, God.
Are you serious?
No.
You don't get oil changes in your car?
No, I'm terrible.
Oh, Dan.
I know.
I can guarantee you that's why you're in.
Wait, when's the last time you got an oil change?
Oh, fuck knows. Probably when I got the car.
How long have you had it?
About 5 years.
Oh, that poor car.
Oh my god. We were joking about that, and I said I just made an offhand comment like, yeah, I bet he never changed the oil. Poor car.
Yeah.
Car needs the lubrication.
I just don't like getting it serviced because it costs money. That's all.
Not as much as buying a new car.
I know. I've learned my lesson.
Oh, Dan.
Oh god.
No.
We love you, Dan.
Son.
I know.
Son.
I know it's my own stupid fault. I've learned my lesson.
What was Crystal's response?
Panicking because I bought a new one, saying, "Can you afford it?" But I was like, "Yes, I can."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
to be honest,
have one.
It's came out pretty good because I'm getting a brand new car. So
well, just look
I'm
after
not
this one and give it oil.
Yeah, I'm going to. Believe.
Engine needs the lube.
I managed. The oil warning light was on all that day, and I managed to drive it around a good bit still. So
you give the engine a personality. It's just there under the hood, like, please, I'm parched.
Kill me now.
It sounded like it was about to die, to be fair. So I took it down to a garage to say what the hell's wrong with it, and he rang me up like that afternoon after me panicking about it all day and went, "Oh, it needs a new engine." And I was like, "Oh, great! How much is that going to be?" And he went, "Estimate is probably about 15 to $2,000."
Jesus.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" So I was like, "Time to get a new car." So then I went to a dealership, organised getting the new car, but then I had to drive the knackered car up to the dealership because I found out my breakdown cover won't cover me unless it's completely immobile. Like, it has to be immobile. Like, even if it moves a little bit, they wouldn't come. So I had to drive it all the way through the other side of Peterlee where I work, and It sounded like it was about to explode at any minute, and I was praying to the car gods that it made it, and it did. I was so stressed, man. It was so...
God. How many miles had that car done?
70,000.
Oh my god, is that it? What?
Did you get it brand new?
No. I've never had a brand new car, so that's why I'm excited to get the new one. So even though my old car blew up, I'm getting a brand new car, so that's pretty exciting.
Approximately how many miles it had done when you got it?
About 20?
So you
50,000
miles of...
on one oil change. I mean, that's impressive.
That
Like,
is
if we're going to look at this objectively,
That is impressive, actually.
that's some good oil.
I check it regularly, it's always full.
That doesn't mean that it's fine.
I don't
His
know.
oil
I don't
was
know.
just
My knowledge of cars is they take me places. That's all I need to know. Unless they blow up.
They take me places.
That's all I need to know.
I hop in and turn the key, it goes.
Takes you away from
I don't know what magic is under the hood. It just
I've got one of them there Google autonomous cars, you see. We're ahead of the times in head. Said nobody ever.
Does Crystal change the oil on her car?
I think she gets hers serviced, yeah.
So what happened? Let's keep this going here. What happens if your low pressure light comes on for your tires? Do you just keep driving until your tire explodes?
Yes.
What happens if you run out of gas? Do you just buy a new car?
One time all 4 tires went at once and I just sat there waiting for it to move and it wasn't happening.
He just drove on the rims. Sparks flying out.
The car's making a weird noise today.
I feel lower today.
Oh my god.
Take a certain round of suspension? No, sir, he just ain't got no time.
Am I supposed to put new ones on when these ones fall off?
It's actually just at the point now where it's a Flintstones car propped up on like a roller.
Yes. Oh god. Oh god, Dan.
Yeah, so RIP to Whatmobile.
Aww.
Whatmobile 2.0.
We'll look after it better.
I would hope so.
What colour is this one?
This new one is red.
Ooh, zoom zoom.
Ferrari red.
Dude, I had no leeway with what I wanted to get. I just had to get a car.
Yeah, fair enough.
Should have just gotten a bicycle.
Yeah, that would take a while.
Nah.
You know, I remember in the UK your insurance is affected just slightly based on the colour of your car.
Same
so
here.
Black cars are slightly more expensive to insure than yellow cars because it's
Are
they're
they
less
really?
visible.
Here, red cars are more expensive. Because they're deemed sports cars and people are going to drive them
I mean,
fast.
I've often seen a black car on the road and just not seen it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's invisible
It's a shade more
in
insurance.
daylight conditions.
In Canada, there's no difference. You can have whatever colour. But
Well, here in the States, you don't even need to have bumpers or hoods or anything.
yeah, as we found out.
Yeah,
I
Tom
tell you what, being without a car is absolutely shit, man. It's so bad. I hate working from home as well. It's just
How come?
I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
What? I love working from home.
Yeah, I like working.
Yeah, because you don't do anything. That's why.
I mean, Tom can attest. I do stuff.
Yeah.
Answering your phone occasionally does not count.
I mean, Thursday was probably the most stressful day I've ever had. But
It's true.
yes. How much work did you actually get done, or did you just sit and play on games all day?
I actually did absolutely loads, you know.
Oh, there you go.
What,
I had
define
to-
loads.
I had
What
to
type
for-
of loads?
I made a brand new. I wrote and designed a brand new.
That was a Jack in it
website,
joke,
which-
Dan.
A brand new
Oh,
one.
okay. I can't remember what I did, to be honest. I made a new page for the website and things like that, but that took all day because the website is complicated.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of writing, a lot of adjusting things, a lot of image uploading and things like that.
Huh.
What else did I do?
It's like Voldemort
can't
Towers all over again.
And I jacked
Yeah.
it.
That's really it.
Except you're getting paid this time.
Yeah.
So
But yes, in case I don't think we mentioned this, but we did on the previous show, which we still haven't uploaded yet.
Oh,
yeah.
have we
oh
not?
yeah. No, I didn't think you had.
No,
Oh, well, that's-
Tom is here with me next
Yay.
to me in my room.
Yay.
I want to be there
America.
too.
Fuck yeah. Sitting in Peterson's house in Phoenix, America.
We should have all went to WrestleMania, guys. That's what we should have done.
Yeah, but that would require us going there
Yeah, I know.
to Lincoln, and we'd have to.
No, it's not in Lincoln. They're watching it in a bar.
I was about to ask, is WrestleMania in Lincoln? Because that's quite something.
At the cathedral.
Consider it's never been outside of America, so
Yeah.
they're gonna now put it in Lincoln Town Square.
Los Angeles, New York, Lincoln.
They're gonna have it on their head common outside, and then they're gonna make the entrances from the village hall.
Yeah.
VIP seats at the duck pond.
Can you imagine what that would do for Lincoln, though? For their economy?
They would just collapse.
Yeah, but everybody would destroy it afterwards who was staying in all the hotels because they get woken up by that stupid fucking cathedral.
Oh god.
Then
yeah.
the entire city would become like a toxic zone because everybody would be having rabbit pie and
You know, the other thing I remember there too is how short the doors were. Do you remember that coffee shop we went into where I actually kind of like had to stand at a little bit of an angle
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
the ceiling was so
Yeah.
low?
Yeah,
That's because in England back in the day everybody was really small.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
they're
were
all
all
the
hobbits.
smallest.
That's how there's a lot of history. It's actually, I always thought it was a really beautiful place, Lincoln. Like,
Yeah,
was
especially
nice,
when I
yes.
spruced
I could
it up with those American flags.
Could do without the big ass hill.
could do without the hill.
Well,
Do the hill.
the hill was fine. You just had to hike it so many times because you don't know what belts are.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
wear belts until they fall apart like my cock.
Did you have a bit of rope at one point? Did you just a bit of fishing twine?
We tried to poke a hole in his belt with the nail clippers.
Oh yeah, in the car.
Oh, yeah.
It just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I was the best dressed person in Primark ever by going down to Primark in a full suit.
Yeah, but your pants were falling down, so you fit right in.
Oh yeah, I just shuffled in with them around my ankles. Well, hey guys.
I'm about to fall over. Can I get a new belt?
Oh, you falling over?
Oh, God.
Yes, Grandma. Yes.
Yes.
You have gone ass over tit.
So, aside
she-
from your exploding cars, Dan,
Mm-hmm.
what else is new?
I finished Sekiro today.
Tom and I briefly touched on this.
Oh,
Let's talk about Sekiro.
go on then.
What a game! I'm not very far into it. I was telling Tom on Thursday that this is one of those games that you go into expecting one thing, and then it's not that one thing, and then you question whether or not you're really enjoying it because it's so unbelievably difficult.
Oh god, it's so difficult, but it's still very fun. It's bizarre. Like I thought until I played this, that Dark Souls and Bloodborne were hard, but my god,
I
this
bet going
is
back to
another
Demon
level.
Souls now, I'd be like, man, this is a joke.
It's just so. It's such a difficult game to like master. Like you have to retrain your brain. I think if you came into it blind without playing the others, you'd probably fare better at it. But I think if you've played the others, then you're really going to struggle with it. Like I had to completely retrain my brain. Everything I was doing was the wrong way to play this game because I played Dark Souls so much.
Yeah, because they say that you shouldn't treat it like a Souls game, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it's
So
not-
Dark
it's not
Souls, Dark Souls for me traditionally is very patient game. You
Yeah.
wait, you block, you wait for your opportunities, you find out the moves of the enemy, you attack when you can attack. Sekiro is blocking a lot and also attacking, keeping that relentless attack going while also blocking as well. And it's
Yeah.
so difficult.
And what's so difficult about it is that the game looks like a Souls game, it feels like a Souls game, and it plays like a Souls game. It's like, well, this is a Souls game. I'm going to do that, and you can't. And
I think
once
it's still got the DNA of it. It's just so drastically different.
the same structure, the world design, even
Yeah.
down to some of the sound effects. it definitely has been inspired from that, and that's what they were going for. But I think that series or that style of game needed a breath of new life, and I think
it did. And it's amazing that they've done that. They did it with Bloodborne, and they've done it with this. So now they've got essentially 3 different franchises, which they can exploit.
Ooh, bring back Demon Souls.
I think because they're done with Dark Souls now. I think they're probably done with that.
Yeah, 3 wrapped it up pretty tidily.
So now they have Bloodborne and Sekiro to move forward with.
I really want them to do a sci-fi one like The Surge, but if they did it, it would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Sekiro is basically like Neo, but
Did you
miles better.
That?
I never finished Nioh.
I never finished it either, but it was decent
because you can get it like for like $15.
It's super difficult. I'd be curious to see how hard it is going back to it now, having played Sekiro.
I was gonna say
because I remember that being way harder than any of the Dark Souls games.
What do you think, Dan? Do you think it was? Can you remember Neo being harder or? Than Sekiro?
I think it was tricky, but I think it's because it doesn't have the level of polish that Dark Souls has.
Okay,
I'd say that's a fair statement. To your point about the combat in it, though, is that it's very offensive.
Yeah, it really is. Like, you have to physically go after the enemy, because basically Sekiro has this thing called a posture system, which isn't in any other of the Souls games, which is kind of, when you hit the enemy, this gauge will start to fill up. Mm-hmm. And this also ties into vitality. So vitality is health, and once you get their health down, their posture gauge depletes slower. So you have to work on their vitality to get their posture gauge up. And when the posture gauge is full, you can do something called a death blow. And that kills most enemies, but bosses generally have 2 or 3 death blow things.
Well, and you don't always have to work on the vitality. Sometimes if you can block and immediately parry, you can immediately strike back and throw them off their posture. So you can affect posture without affecting vitality.
You can, but it's better to work on, particularly in the later stages of the game, you have to kind of work on vitality as well. Otherwise, you're being constantly aggressive. You have to know every attack that's coming your way, or they'll just deplete straight away.
And to your point about the being aggressive and not being very patient with it, especially with the bosses in Souls games in past, you could slowly attack and chip away at the boss health and just kind of learn the pattern and just rinse, repeat. Since the game is so reliant on posture, you have to maintain that, because if you get their posture almost to the point where you can do a death blow and then you back off, their posture starts to regain, and you've basically lost all of that ground.
Yeah. It's really interesting how it all clicks together. It just clicks with me eventually. Like, for example, I've just started New Game Plus, and can you remember the bit at the start when you fight that boss that you're on now, Genericho? Mm-hmm. Or you fight him at the start, and you're basically meant to lose the fight. But because I've fought him that much, and I know the system so well, I actually beat him when I was fighting him the first time.
What did that do to the game?
It just changed the cutscene slightly, and he still gets his arm cut off and things like that. But spoilers.
It sounds a little bit like, in terms of the boss battles, Bloodborne, where you have to be very offensive, because you can't really stand around in Bloodborne too much and defend. I mean, you can kind
Bloodborne's more about dodging, whereas Sekiro is about parrying.
You can circle the enemy a lot in Bloodborne, but ultimately, when you get up close and personal, you have to be straight on the offensive and try and get those parries.
There's a couple of bosses in Sekiro which remind me of Dark Souls, where you can do the circling technique, which is usually really good for Dark Souls. Like, you get behind them, you wheel on them a little bit and things like that. But there's certain ones where you have to, they're kind of in your face all the time, and running around them will just get you hit. So
yeah, you can't really stick near their feet either, because that was my technique in a lot of the Souls games. Like, just get as close as you physically can and walk through their legs back and forth.
It's because there's a lot more human enemies on this one, so you're fighting people with swords and general weapons rather than demons a lot of the time. There is exceptions to that rule, but I'm not going to say any more. But it's a tough game. I can see why it would put some people off. There's been times with it where I've wanted to physically throw my controller across the room because it's been so annoying. Eric, that boss you're on right now, I'm not even exaggerating, took me more than 80 tries to beat him.
Jesus.
What?
Which is just insane, because he has...
Try 4.
He has stage 1, then stage 2, and then he's only got those 2 bars, and then there's a cutscene, and then he comes back for stage 3.
Jesus.
Without a break in between. And
Getting to the first boss was a feat unto itself, and then getting there, I was really struggling with it because I still didn't have my head fully wrapped around the mechanics of parrying and posture and how to best meld all of those together. I got to a point where I just couldn't beat him, and I was finally starting to question, like, am I actually enjoying this game? And
yeah.
I gave it a few more tries, and I woke up one morning and it just clicked, and I beat it, and here we are.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses, you have to kind of at least play them a few times to get used to their attacks, so you know when to parry and when to jump, and because it factors in things like they do thrust attacks, which are unblockable, and then you have to use this thing called the Mikiri counter to stand on the sword or dodge it. And then there's also attacks where they do a sweep and you have to jump over it.
Hi, Dan. Good morning, Dan.
Hi, Christy. Shabba for the toast.
The Mikiri counter is really difficult to pull off.
But again, that's something that clicks and you get used to it. It's really cool, though. He stands on the sword, for God's sake. It's like, no, you shall not attack me. I will stand on your sword.
See, I think I discovered that I was finally understanding it when I got to that mid-level boss at the top of the castle that just constantly was attacking you.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I beat him in like 3 or 4 tries. I'm like, okay, I can do this. But it's so heavily reliant on the different prosthetics. He
comes back later on and he does even more damage. He kills you instantly if he hits you. It's ridiculous.
It's not a game that you jump into the From series.
I tell you what's amazing about it as well. I've finished the game, but my God, did I miss a lot of stuff.
Really?
There's a lot to it. Like, there's multiple endings, there's all kinds of secret areas, there's secret bosses to fight.
Yeah, Zach was saying that there's about 4 endings, and you can get the first ending pretty early.
Yeah, you can. You get a unique skill from doing it, but then obviously you miss this entire section at the end.
What do you think the best From game is to start with? Or just out of the Soulsborne, Sekiro?
Dark Souls 1.
1?
1,
yeah.
Skip 2, go to 3, then probably
No,
go to
I
Bloodborne.
still think 2's got merit. I think I would still play it.
It does, but it's just they didn't really innovate on it other than, oh, hey, let's make this world twice as big.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how a new player goes with Sekiro, though.
Yeah, that's
It'd
true.
be fascinating to see how tough it is for them.
Maybe it wouldn't be as tough because they're not trying to retrain their brain from Souls games.
Yeah. I think you'd struggle with the mechanics if you've never played a game like a From game before, because they're pretty unique unless they're a copycat game.
I remember when I first started playing Demon Souls and how difficult that was to understand. Like, you can't just charge in.
Yeah. It's meticulous. But again, that's what I'm on about. Dark Souls, meticulous. Bloodborne, more aggressive with the emphasis on dodging. Sekiro, extremely aggressive with an emphasis on parrying. But that's why I struggled, I think, originally, because when I played Dark Souls does have parry systems in it. So does Bloodborne, but I don't use them.
Yeah, because
they're
clunky.
Yeah, it's really hard to pull them off. There's certain people who can do it like without batting an eyelid, but
yeah, I remember watching videos of people doing the riposte and Dark Souls. I'm like, well, I only tried that on really low level enemies.
Yeah, so I'd heartily recommend it. It's an early contender for Game of the Year for me. So
unless Final Fantasy VII comes out.
Yeah. Right. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Tom and I have started a video game challenge between the two of us while he's here.
Okay.
We picked out a bunch of random video games to face off in. Everything from fighting games, racing games, sports games, and we've discovered perhaps one of the most absurd and ridiculous combinations of games. You know the Square Enix Final Fantasy fighting game Air Guys?
Yes.
So that's not just a fighting game. Apparently it's a puzzle game. It is a track and field game.
Yeah.
What?
And it is a racing game.
Which one was the? Oh yeah, the racing game. Have you played it, Dan?
No.
So obviously you got typical fighting game like Soul Calibur style, and then on the main menu, which is awful by the way, the UI is just a joke. There's one mode where you're both racing on a beach, and it's just classic track and field sprint to the nearest palm tree.
But whereas most fast dashes are 100 meters, this was at best 16, 17 meters. And so Eric was Tifa and I was Sephiroth, and you're just running across this beach. It just looks so
my God.
goofy.
And then they do a variation of it where it's hurdles, but instead of hurdles, it's little tiny sticks laid across the ground. And you basically just have to press triangle and you step over it.
Yeah. Then the other game was
That sounds bizarre.
like Reversi or Othello. You know the board game, the old board game,
All right.
right? And you're having to run over these squares and highlight them to flip them all to your color. So it's just like I think you were Cloud and I was.
So it's basically like Final Fantasy Crash Bash.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
And then the third and final mini game was,
Combat racing.
yeah, you're kind of like parkour running on this like circuit, and there's like arrows on the ground to tell you the loop of the track, which can reverse and change.
That
But
sounds mental.
the whole time you're running through the level, you can like try and jeopardize your opponent and just start attacking them and throw them off guard. But
Oh my
it's just so goofy, and it's just like what is this? It's like Square Final Fantasy characters doing things un-Final Fantasy like.
It was the fighting itself when we first started it, like, this is crap, and then, after like the third or fourth match, like, this really isn't that bad. It was just really floaty and sluggish and unpolished, but it wasn't terrible.
But you can definitely see how those mechanics soon became the bouncer. Remember the bouncer from PS2?
No.
Square. It was a SquareSoft, maybe I don't know if it was SquareSoft or Square Enix. Streets of Rage style game on PS2. You'd really like it. Yeah, you'd have to. You need to.
Yeah,
get the
you would
bouncer.
like
You would
Bouncer.
really like it a lot.
Yeah. I've just remembered Streets of Rage 4 is coming out. I saw the trailer earlier in the week.
I totally.
It looks
forgot
pretty.
about
It looks pretty good actually.
Huh.
Is that on multi-platform?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Get it!
It's got that kind of like hand-drawn art style of like
Yeah.
another game. I forget what it is they made. Is it Owlboy?
Oh.
No,
Thinking
it's something
about
else.
What else did we play? We picked up.
We
went out.
Rick, congratulations on completing Expert Plus on Beat Saber.
Oh yeah, Tom witnessed
Impressive
it.
work right there.
What's that?
That's some impressive
It
work
was
right
something
there.
to watch it, Dan. I just thought, wow, I'm not sure I'm gonna get that ever.
Tom, we need a bionic shoulder, mate. That's
know.
what we need.
So there's a funny little story behind that too, because we had a friend over. My wife had a friend over, and she's starting to get into Beat Saber as well. It's a lady that just doesn't play games at all, and she saw us playing Beat Saber. She's like, "Can I try?" So she's starting to get into it as well. I'm like, you know what? I've beaten every song available on Expert. Now it's time to move up. And the only thing I could even get remotely close on was Legend. Like, tonight, I'm beating it. And I got through it. And Christy jokingly said, "Did you have it on no fail?" I'm like, well, why would I have it on no fail? I've never ticked that. And then it dawned on me, oh, Christy's been playing on no fail. And I look over, and there's a little no fail check mark next to it. And I was just about to send you a picture of like, hey, suck it, Dan. And then I realized, like, my score is a D. So I went, crap, now I have to do this again. And for like the next 4 or 5 attempts, I just could not get through it. I'm like, maybe I can't do this. Like, all right, I'm going to give this one more try. So I did it and completed it, and then realized we were in party mode. Like, this isn't going to show up, Dan's not going to believe me. So I have to do it again, and went back over to regular solo campaign and did it 2 times in a row. But
Yeah.
I think I'm on my way up to Expert Plus, just universally.
Very good.
And I made it through Angel
I
Voices
find
on Expert.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, that's.
I find on Expert Plus that the tracking goes wonky on mine.
Yes, mine too.
So I'm definitely hitting them on Legend, but it's just not getting them. I also discovered this week apparently that my floor was too low, so I had it matching up exactly to my floor. Because I've noticed all the time when I'm doing an upward swipe that I don't get high scores. So I've put the floor up a bit, and I'm getting consistently higher scores.
See, my floor just auto adjusts.
Yeah,
it reads the height. Like if you go into floor adjust and you squat or stand up, like it'll change the centimeter distance automatically.
Yeah.
Because it reads it off the visor. What I noticed my issue was two things. I had the camera pointed too low, so it wasn't. If I was swinging up, it was losing track of the stick.
That happens to me as well.
But the other piece was that I had too much lighting on in the background. But if you turn all the lights, if you turn all the lights off, that's just as bad, because then the camera will pick up like this aura, and it assumes that your light is bigger than it is, so it loses tracking. So what we did is, in my living room, we turned all of the lights to green, because that's the most opposite color of both of the globes, and it was perfect.
Well, I don't have that functionality, unfortunately. But like,
maybe if you didn't
my
blow
VR
your car
camera
up, you could have afforded some green light bulbs.
Yes, an essential purchase.
Hey, it's a frivolous purchase.
I only need red, white, and blue to welcome me to America, and that's hands down best video ever.
Oh god,
I still love that. I got myself one of those aim controllers as well this week.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I could have done without buying that this week because I had to put down £500 against my new car.
Ooh.
But never mind. But I got that, and I've been playing Borderlands 2 with it. And my god, is that fun!
Is it?
It's so good.
Oh wow.
I was playing it last night, and I was running around everywhere. I was shooting bandits in the face with a shotgun. It was just brilliant.
Is it better than Farpoint?
I haven't actually tried Farpoint with it yet. I remember playing it at Mike's, but
so what are they?
Farpoint it's very linear though. You go in a straight line basically, don't you? But Borderlands you can go everywhere, and once you get past the initial, okay, I'm moving round with the analog stick here, it's really good.
So what do they do? Because Borderlands is very, very fast paced. It's a twitch shooter essentially.
They have something called BAMF time, badass mega fun time, which slows down the game.
Well, so my question is, if you play Farpoint and you do full free roam instead of like sectioned turns, if you turn too quickly, the whole screen blurs out and it puts this little blue dot in the center of the screen for you to focus on, so you don't get motion sick. Does Borderlands do anything like that, or they just
it has tunnel vision? So it kind of, you can adjust it as well. So you can adjust it. You can have the snap turns, or you can have the free movement. You can adjust the speed of the movement. You can put tunnel vision on like excessively or a little bit. Like personally, I'm fine, so I just have it on a tiny amount. But I was playing it last night. Like I don't think I was feeling very well the night I got it, and I played it originally, and I was like, "Oh god, this is a bit rough." But then I played it again, and I felt fine yesterday. I played it for a good hour yesterday. I played through all of the first section at Liarsburg, where you fight like Captain Flint and things like that, and it was just fun, man. And then I got my first assault rifle, and the guns. You can see the guns. You can look at the guns. You move the control around and things like that. It's really cool.
I was just looking at Borderlands 2 VR, and they have a new PlayStation VR bundle. That's awesome. Probably the best bundle to date. It comes with Borderlands 2 VR and Beat Saber.
Yeah, I saw that a while back.
That looks good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give Doom a try with it as well, because Doom it's all right with the move controllers, but I think with this it'll be great fun.
Doom is warp. You warp to point, right?
You do with the move controllers, but with that you can move.
Oh. Yeah, I tried.
The beauty of the aim controller is it has two analog sticks. So you've got one for movement, you've got one for camera. It's fantastic.
But with camera, wouldn't you just move your head?
You can, but I prefer to move with the analog stick.
Oh, okay. It's I tried Farpoint, and I was really enjoying it, but I got a little bit motion sickness.
I can only play Farpoint for about 10 or 15 minutes at a shot.
I was just getting a little bit wheezy, just kind of.
You might struggle with Borderlands, then. I don't know, but
yeah,
I could see myself like playing through it. It's good.
Even in general, I can only spend probably max 25 minutes in VR before I just get a bit not sick. It's just
Beat Saber notwithstanding.
Yeah, I get like a bit sweaty, almost. Like even if I'm not doing very much, just having been in that enclosed space, I just kind of want to come out of it after.
Yeah,
half
I
an
think
hour.
I think you do naturally exert yourself more where you're in it though. Like even playing anything.
True.
So I was reading
Not
this
in-
news story about a guy, not really a news story, but this big Reddit article that this guy wrote, and he outlined his weight loss. He lost 150 pounds doing
Oh, from playing Beat Saber.
playing Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I've read that as well.
Yeah, he had it outlined where he said, look, this is what you got to do. Obviously, diet is a huge part of this, but hop into Beat Saber and play 30 minutes of vigorous, don't just sit there and play it, but like get into it, move around, swing. Just the more you get into the game, the more entertaining it is, but I think it can definitely have some physical benefits as well.
Oh yeah,
After
Eric,
playing Legend Plus,
honestly,
my heart was racing.
yeah, the exercise, like I've never found exercise that I truly love. But when I play Beat Saber, I sweat like crazy. It's like, honestly, it's some of the best exercise I get. It's like
It's like
I'm
you've just
so
done a spin
tight.
class.
Yeah, it is. I read somewhere online that somebody had done a analysis of it where it's like playing a game of tennis for 30 minutes.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's just craziness, and that's great to be. But it makes exercise fun. You don't really feel like you're exercising; you just feel like a badass Jedi.
See,
So-
and that's the more we get into that, and the more I realize that aspect of it now. Like, I would love to use that as a cardio supplement, and I think I'd just get bored of the songs too quickly, though, which is why I wish that they would open up the mods on the PlayStation version.
Yeah, it's a licensing thing, though, isn't it? They won't let the Sony one do
And
that.
that's why when the Oculus Quest comes out, if you can do mods on the Oculus Quest, I'm going to buy it hands down just for Beat Saber.
Mm.
So I can have 1,500 different
that's
songs.
amazing. Yeah. I'm always jealous of the guys at work that have the HTC and the Oculus, and they're playing all these custom. Like, they were nowhere near as excited as I was for the DLC pack, because they're like, oh, you've been waiting patiently and anticipating 10 songs. I had like 1,500 on this.
I get 10 songs a day.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's a shame, but then again, the mods are a mixed bag because people map them, so you never know what you're going to get. And
Yeah,
I always
true.
think the quality of the new mappings are really good. Like I enjoy the new, so I downloaded the new ones obviously, and I think the mapping on them is excellent.
It's
Like
not
there's some
just
really
the-
fun bits.
It's not just the mapping as well, that they actually customize the lights during each song. Those are
Yeah.
different. That's not a mistake. That's no algorithm. That's been hand done by somebody. Like all the way the lights change based on how you're performing, and also like the tempo of the song. Like it's you don't always notice it straight away. It's more subconscious, but the lighting is dynamic based on track. So they spend a lot of time making those fun and good to play. So when you buy DLC for Beat Saber, it's coming from people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, instead of
I
someone
wanna
who's just
suppo-
like,
I wanna
alright, I'm going to throw
support
some
the-
blocks together.
Yeah.
I want to support these guys as well because what a fantastic game it is. It's
Yeah.
the killer. It's the killer app for VR. Honest to God, I've played it. I popped the trophy Tom for 24 hours of gameplay like you. So
Yeah, same.
I've played a hell of a lot of that. I'm
Yeah.
just working towards the 100 million score now.
I've got that as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I looked at mine. I
Christ.
think I'm not even at 500,000.
Wow.
You
I'm
must
sorry,
be at
I'm
half
not
a
even
million.
at the 50 million. Sorry.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
500,000. Oh, jeez.
I was gonna say, how much do you suck?
Hey, who's beating Expert Plus?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to do it yesterday, but the tracking meant I couldn't.
Yeah, I think getting Expert Plus on PSVR is a hair more challenging than on an Oculus, where you have so many more frames and a lot more fluidity. I've not tried Beat Saber on anything other than PSVR, but apparently it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even want to try it because it would be too hard to go back. So
So yeah, before we got off on that, Tom and I went out game shopping. What was that? Friday? Yeah.
yeah, it was Friday.
Yeah, we bounced around to quite a few different game stores, and we came home with a ton of new PS2 games.
Which ones?
We picked up NHL Hits,
Oh yeah,
which
Classic.
I'd never played. And talk about a fun game. Basically, NHL Blitz in hockey.
NFL Blitz.
Yeah, NFL Blitz in hockey form. Then we picked up a first-person shooter, Black, on the PS2. Did you ever play that one, Dan?
I think you told us about it recently.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter made by the team that did Burnout. So the cover is nothing but bullets.
Criterion.
Yeah, Criterion did it. Trying to think. I picked up Mega Man X7, so I only need
Shocking.
one more Mega Man X game. Should I tell you about it?
Fuck no.
Then we picked up Project Eden, because I know that's on our list for later. And
The Getaway.
Outlaw Tennis.
oh god, yes, Outlaw Tennis. Let me tell you about this.
And The Getaway.
And The Getaway, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of PS2 games. I grew up playing Outlaw Golf.
All right, you snakes. It's
Dan,
The Getaway.
have you ever heard of the Outlaw series?
No.
So think basic sports game like just like your Madden NFL or your Tiger Woods PGA Tour, mixed with like Leisure Suit Larry and Mortal Kombat.
I'm in.
So Outlaw Golf it's actually a really good golf game, but it has a composure mechanic. But the characters in there are so raunchy and vile that if you lose your composure, to get your composure back up and start hitting better shots, you can beat up your caddy. So it goes into like this fight mode, and you just start beating the shit out of your caddy. And like based on how much you beat him up and how well you do, the crowd will start cheering, and then your composure will go back up, and now you can start hitting better shots. So I knew that there was Outlaw Golf, and I knew that there was Outlaw Volleyball. I had no idea that there was Outlaw Tennis. So picked that up, and my god, that game is fun. We were doing a stream the other night, and towards the end of it, we started playing that, and then something happened and it froze. But we're definitely going to be playing more of that. It's surprisingly a great sports game. They could have just fallen back on their laurels and be like, let's just make this raunchy and fall back on stupid crap like that. But the mechanics are good.
Gameplay-wise, it's actually all right.
And the commentary in it's friggin' hilarious. It's nothing you can get away with today. So I was playing as this really busty blonde girl, and it was her turn to serve, and the commentator was talking about something or other. He goes, and feel free to ask her what else she would do for $50. And
Oh my god.
we're playing on a tennis court in hell where all the lines are fire, and you've got Satan and other demons in the background. It's the most absurd franchise ever, but man, it's so much fun.
That sounds great. I wish I was over so I could play it.
Yeah, well, a subtle hint. Maybe if you didn't have to buy a new car, you could have bought a plane ticket.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm starting to think.
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry. But then we played.
I only go on planes though if they haven't changed the oil.
He's gonna ask everybody that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get on this bus if you change oil recently.
Get involved in a car conversation at work, like, remember I changed the oil in that new car you bought? I'm going to tell you what happened to me a few years ago.
It's gonna come like, guys, learn this really cool new thing.
Pro
with car.
tip.
Pro tip with cars.
Change the oil.
Did you have to change the oil like every couple months? It like keeps the car new. It's great. I didn't know that you could keep a car for a while. I thought this just dies, buy a new one.
That's all right.
We love you, Dan.
I love you too, my friend.
We played
Mortal Kombat Gold.
Mortal Kombat Gold. Discovered we are both really bad at Mortal Kombat, but
Yep.
the jump kick mechanic is very hard to block continually. So if you watch it, it's just him and I jumping up and towards each other, and who can get lucky and hit each other.
Yeah, I've been there a lot with Mortal Kombat and similar games. That's all you do as a child. Till you learn the special moves.
Oh, we played a 90s
Pool game?
pool porn simulator where Tom was a pedophile.
Oh, yeah. Basically.
It was
The
ridiculous.
way he looked.
Oh, Rexy.
And then, I'm trying to remember what else we played. I think we played... Oh, no, that was it. Because we already touched on Guys.
Yeah, there, guys. So the current standing
guys.
is like
Yeah.
the current standing is 3 to technically 1, but we gave it to you as 2 because I won Air Guys and then discovered that there were all those mini games. Like, all right, let's have this competition. So he won those, and we split the win. But yeah, it's been
fun.
It's been fun. We're gonna go back out and do some more game shopping today.
Woo. Let's see if I can find the guide for Fable, because that's one of our next games.
It is our next game.
No, isn't it Castlevania?
Oh yeah, you're right. It's Castlevania.
Oh, excellent! I'm looking forward to that.
It's so expensive. I think I'm just gonna buy the PS4 version for $15.
I think I wanted to get it on Vita, maybe. Like the PS1 Classic.
Yes. That's only $6.
Yeah.
I might just do that. That's cheaper.
Or just... Yeah, I think that's probably the best way.
So, should we get on to our game of the week?
Game of the week.
Oh, we didn't mention Mike's not here.
Game of the week.
Mike isn't here.
Who?
Who? We finally got rid of him. And this is his game, too.
Yeah.
He suggested this one.
He's not here for
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
God, thanks, Mike. We decided to play Zone of the Endors.
Endors.
It's a Konami game created by Hideo Kojima.
Konami!
And it was released in 01. It's very Metal Gear. It's essentially Metal Gear, not the game.
But shit!
Yes. I don't even know where to begin with this game. So essentially it is a mech fighting game in space. There's this... It's kind of a... pseudo Halo style game in that there's this orbital colony around Jupiter, and these giant flying space mechs called orbital frames attack this colony and start killing people, and
Yeah, but you don't know why.
No idea why. Just Viola, the sexy pink orbital frame, flies in and starts messing shit up. You're just hanging out shooting dice with all of your buddies in the back of the slums when all of your family and friends die, and you manage to not die because you're over there in the back alley taking a piss or something, and you start running away, and you fall into this orbital frame. Just magically fall into this orbital frame, and suddenly you, a 12-year-old boy, are fully competent in space combat.
Did they
And can beat people who have been doing it for years on end. That's...
I believe it's called Zone of the Endors because the people that live in these slums are called Endors, and I believe that where they live is a specific zone. So hold on, Dan, see if you can follow this. It's the zone where the Endors live. Zone of the Endors. Endors in that zone.
What?
Yeah, I think he gets it. Like, just...
No.
Yeah. I think that's... I don't know why they're called Endors, if that's what you're getting. Maybe it's at the end of the colony?
Yeah.
Or that they're at the end of their life?
It's because they like to show the end of their knob to people, that's why.
I think it's life as they know it. Because of what happens, the disaster that happens.
I think we're going to go with that, but it's not the end of your life, so are you technically an Ender? So clearly you were in the wrong zone because you weren't at the end of your life.
True.
But there's loads of zones, so which is the right zone?
Well, maybe there's zone of the fronters. Maybe there's zone of the middlers. Maybe there's zone of the siders.
The zone of the second to lasters.
Zone of the thirders.
Zone of the turders.
Did you guys play this game as a kid?
No.
There was a demo disc that came with
Metal Gear
Solid 2, I think.
Let me check.
And
I've
this
got my original copy.
this also comes with the demo disc of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, does it?
Yes, that's why it sold so well. You see, the whole like when Crackdown sold really well because it came with the demo of Halo 3.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. It's the other way around. Metal Gear Solid 2 didn't come with the demo for Zone of the Enders. I thought I had played it.
Zone of the Enders came with the Metal Gear demo?
Yeah.
Well, let me check. I have my Zone of the Enders.
I know it does. I just said it does. I checked.
Yeah, it does right here. I got it.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's a neat demo disc.
Yeah.
I'm sure the MGS2 demo was slightly different from the final game as well.
Oh yeah, they did that. They did that a few times with demos. I remember.
I did not play this as a kid. I always wanted to because it was really... I always liked the style of it. It was really cool, but I felt like I didn't understand the Japanese mech culture, so I wouldn't get it. Plus, it was kind of a hard game to find. I remember for a period of time it went through this really weird, rare phase.
That's probably because it sold out because it came with the MGS2 demo disc.
Yeah, very likely. I'm kind of glad I didn't play this game as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think
Me
I
too.
would have liked this as a kid.
It's bizarre. It's such a weird game.
I
It could have
wouldn't
been
have liked
so
it.
much better than it is.
Yeah, see that it's. I got the impression that this game has this really insane cult following.
Me too. But it's... I know Hideo Kojima is known for his mad storylines in Metal Gear, but like this one, it's just terrible.
But is
It's
this
just-
actually 100% Kojima, or did he just produce it, or just write it? Like, because I can't remember. There were some games where he was the producer for Metal Gear. What's the one with Raiden? Just an action game.
Rising Revengeance.
Rising Revengeance. So he just produced that. He didn't do anything else.
This
on
says
it.
created by Hideo Kojima.
Okay. Is there like a published? Oh no. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you go on Hideo Kojima's Wikipedia, it has a list of his games, and then in columns whether he produced, wrote, or directed, because he had certain influence in certain games, but not entire control. Like Twin Snakes, I think he just produced. Like he didn't have much to do with that game.
Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. See, so Zone of the Enders.
It's not on here.
Keep going down.
Other works.
Other works.
It's not even on here.
Wow. See, yeah. I think maybe he like had the idea for it, but didn't have much to do with the game, and that would make more sense because it really doesn't look. It really doesn't.
It doesn't have his level of polish.
It does not have his level of polish whatsoever.
Maybe they threw his name on there because his name would sell something.
Yeah, I think so. Does his name actually appear in the credits anywhere on that game?
Yeah, it did, I think, at the start.
What did it say? Just created by, I imagine?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's very loose to say created by. I personally don't think he had as much involvement as we might have originally thought.
Yeah, I don't...
Because he didn't direct it.
Yeah,
it was... and that's a pretty big deal.
But it was the Yoji Shinkawa who did, for the artwork, he did all the Metal Gear stuff. So you can definitely see the ties between the two franchises.
Yeah.
These mechs that you're flying around, these orbital frames, are essentially Metal Gears.
They look like sleeker...
with giant schlongs.
Oh, here we go. Directors Noriaki Okamura.
Yep.
Producers Hideo Kojima.
Ah.
Writers Noriaki Okamura and Shuyo Murata.
So Hideo didn't write it, or he was just a producer on it. Same as Metal Gear Rising Revengeance then.
This is interesting. Now, throughout playing this game, I got such Metal Gear Solid 2 vibes from it, like the menu design, the sound effects, the way the mechs look and things like that. It was actually the mechs were designed by Yoji Shinkawa, the character and mechanical designer for the MGS series.
Ah, okay.
So
like the mechs looked so much like Metal Gear Ray,
Yeah.
like particularly
with one distinct difference. The cockpit for Metal Gear Ray was obviously in the face. Yoji Shinkawa, the designer, as a joke, decided to put the cockpit in the crotch region. So that big schlong thing you see, that's
the cockpit.
That's the cockpit.
Yeah.
Do you get it, Dan?
Yeah, I got it.
I wonder if
it reminds me of
No.
Metal Gear Philanthropus on Metal Gear Solid 5, because that had a massive schlong as well. No, it was Sahelanthropus or something. It was that stupid name. That had a massive schlong, can you not remember?
Yeah, but was it the cockpit?
No, I don't think so.
So I'm just reading here why the main frame was
called a cockpit because it's in the cock.
That's it. Yep. I didn't
I
get
got
that.
it.
I
He
didn't
got
put
it.
2 and 2 together.
He got it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah. Nice one.
I thought if they were going to make that joke, they would have called it like the penis port or something. Um,
The Schlong Zone.
the main frame is called Jehuty, which is
Just the stupidest name ever.
but apparently it is an homage to an Egyptian deity, also called Jehuty, but starts with a D. It's a silent D. Jehuty. Because one of the other orbital frames is named Anubis, which is based on the Egyptian mythology. But yeah, what a dumb name.
It's so bad.
So
It's the way they refer to it as well. Like Jehuty has this god awful interior robot called Ada, who's so irritating.
Good voice acting or not?
No,
oh my god, Tom, you watched it?
I did.
Tom watched me play like the last third of the game.
Yeah.
you are approaching the outer zone of the battle.
Yes. And then you initiate the battle.
Damage increasing to colony because of battle. Yeah, cheers, love. It doesn't
Cheers,
matter in
love.
any way. You don't need to tell us every time.
Cheers.
Could you imagine? Well, the main character is so whiny.
Oh, God.
What's his girlfriend's name? Clavicle?
Clerihew, something.
Selvice, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So, every time I start a name, like, well, that's Clavicle, that's my collarbone. I'm gonna collarbone her.
So basically, yeah, he picks up this girl who he rescues from one of the zones, and then she just proceeds to sit on his knee in the cockpit of Jehuty for the rest of the game.
Yeah, just hanging out.
What?
Maybe she's
There's not
sitting on
room.
his
There's not room
cockpit.
for.
Oh.
Oh, this got real dark.
Well,
Hey, Clavicle, I'm gonna show you my Endor.
I like it when you play with the Endor.
Put it in D.
Endor. I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna put my Ender in your zone. Maybe that's why it's
Do you
called
want
Zone
to-
of the Enders.
That's what I'm
It would
thinking.
surprise me as Japanese. They always throw in a bit of subtle filth in
So
all
not-
their games. They really do.
So not only is this guy an expert at space combat in Jehuty, he's also really great at showing her his Endor while doing the space combat at the same time.
This guy is talented. Let's talk about the gameplay and the controls for a minute, because my God, what a train wreck!
Yeah, it's
So
shit, really?
you exist in this 3D space, and you can move obviously with the left stick, but you can also move in a vertical axis as well, using triangle and X to go up or down. So it's really
God,
smooth
so
moving
bad.
forward and backward, but then if you want to move up or down, it's just absolute garbage. Gets really frustrating because you can't fully control the camera. So when you lock onto an enemy, the camera will follow around, but if that enemy moves up, the camera will move up as well, and then you lose track of where you are in the world, and you can get hung up on buildings that apparently you're not supposed to destroy buildings during your colony rescues. But if your camera's locked up and you're just skating around and forget to press triangle, you're going to blow up buildings, and then Ada will come on. Buildings destroyed, colony reduction. But
Fuck off, Ed. Yeah, cheers, love. Shut up.
you know who I am. I'm
I
Jehuty.
just picture you down with like this, like the mic, like here, like holding the mech, shooting. Yeah, cheers, love. Cheers. I'm a bit busy here, like.
You're like,
You don't shut up. I'm gonna put my Endor in your port.
that is ill-advised.
I lost you, guys.
The combat itself
Hello.
is actually... The combat itself isn't
Hello.
terrible. Dan froze.
Oh, Dad, he's frozen on a photo that looks like you've taken.
Dan's headshot.
Oh, he's coming back.
The combat itself, I will admit, actually is pretty fun. It's a lot of pressing square. I think if I were to close my eyes and turn the volume off, I wouldn't be able to tell that I wasn't playing Batman.
I wish Mike was here for that.
Oh god, it's so a square sim. Like all I did to win the game was press R2 and press square over and over again, even on the final bosses.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you can
just-
occasionally pick up different things, but so
we
the
need,
way that
we
it's
need to
broken.
talk about the backtracking shit on this as well.
Oh god, talk about that.
So basically, what it does at routine moments, basically to progress, you need to go to these different zones where there may or may not be Endors to find different programs.
So stupid.
He's lost it.
I'm done.
There may or may not be Endors.
So clearly, that's not the zone of the Endors.
Scanning Endors. None found. Next zone.
Just keep going. Just going.
Oh god!
Just. May or may not be Endors. Oh god, okay.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'll make it. Just go.
I can't.
Just go.
So anyway, you have to fly between these different zones. So there's a world map thing, and you have to go to these different zones, and then you have to find programs for your mech thing. which
Jehuty.
Basically, Jehuty, that's the one. So you need to find these programs, which are used to progress sometimes, and sometimes they're just random weapons. But to get these programs, generally you need what's something called a source code or a passcode. And these are generally not in the area where you are, so you then have to leave that area and then find another area. It doesn't give you any prompt where this area is.
No.
Find that area, then beat all the enemies, get the passcode, go back to the other area, and then it'll say something else is in something other area. Then you have to go to that area to find another thing, to come back to that area to find the thing you wanted originally. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, I ended up just following my guide.
Yeah, I kind of wish I did.
Which you
I
were
had to a
saying
couple
that
of
you would
times.
read one page of the guide, then the final paragraph
yeah.
it would then tell you, but you're not ready for this part
Yeah,
yet.
so there's a section here. I'll see if I can find it quick. It like exactly what Tom said. It breaks it out into missions. There's 10 full missions, and I would read through it just to kind of give myself a heads up of, okay, what do I need? So here, mission 8. You read through 4 pages of it, and then the last sentence of that part says, "The current situation is hopeless. You must win, but cannot be victorious without an anti-stealth module." Okay, so what do I? I read all of it.
The Zone of the Endors guide, brought to you by the people who made the Final Fantasy IX guide.
It gives you all of the strategy for how to deal with everything in here, and then it says, "But by the way, you can't win." Like,
Oh my
okay. But so bouncing between the different zones is it's not just choosing from a menu. You fly out into this overview of the colony, and there's little squares on the ground, and
Kind
then
of
you
hovering, aren't you? Looking
Yeah,
down, like
just doing-
this kind of perspective. Like,
and then you can hover over something. You press X to drop down into it, and each of the zones is
Here, I can see that guy's Endor.
so each of the levels is populated with enemies that are grouped into squads, and the enemy variation is very slim. You have your basic raptors, you have your phalanx, and then you have your
Shitwagon?
shitwagon.
instead of a
Yeah, why
radar,
not?
you have an Endar. It's coming up on the Endar and all the little points that are Johnson's.
A giant dick.
Isn't Endor a moon on Star Wars?
Yes. Okay,
Isn't that
so
what-
you've got your
Yeah, the Ewoks in this game.
raptor, your single sword raptor, your mummy heads, your cyclops, and that's it.
Wow, they really pushed the board out.
Yeah.
This is why it gets so monotonous, because you just fight the same 4 enemies over and over again for no reason. And also, it has a leveling up system which appears to do absolutely nothing.
Nothing. And if it does, you don't get to do anything with it.
No.
But okay, so you can find different weapons throughout.
Which are useless.
I don't know. I used them.
Ah,
Well,
you just need to
the
press
sniper
square.
rifle in order to destroy the comms tower.
Oh yeah, that's one of the bullshit moments where you have to go back to one of the areas to find that, where it doesn't tell you where it is.
Yeah. There's that. There's a bunch of different ones that are mostly crap. The javelin. Don't think I hit a single enemy with it the entire game. The enemies all move really quick, and you have this javelin that it's just this giant spear that you lift above your head and then chuck forward in a really slow motion. And by the time you've lifted it above your head, the enemy has already moved, so you're just wasting ammunition.
Yeah.
And to
The aiming is terrible in general, because there's these things in some of the maps called porters, which are these little tiny things that you have to shoot, and then they do like unlock something on the map, and it's just really hard to hit them.
I struggled with replenishing ammunition, so I ran out of sniper ammo. And then you had to go back to where you originally found the sniper ammo, and then there's another box. So the only place you could do it was just where you originally got that weapon. And what the hell was the Metaton ore? What did that do?
It fills your health up.
Does it?
Yes. But every time you get it, that stupid woman goes, "We have found the Metatron ore." Like,
Megatron, what's he doing here?
shut up!
It's the Allspark?
But why is it the Metatron ore? Why isn't it a Metatron ore?
Or some Metatron ore. Because the means it's the only one, so does he keep losing it?
I have found your Endor.
So there's one real bullshit part of this game that I actually had to walk away from it for a while. So about halfway through, Ada contracts a digital virus. She's getting frisky on the side and wasn't being safe and came down with the virus. And suddenly you lose all of your health. You even look at an enemy wrong and you die. And you pop back out. You have to go to the factory where she was built, and there's tons of enemies there. But she reminds you that there's an SOS happening. So occasionally when you pop back out to the overworld, you'll see an orange SOS where you go down and you have to rescue survivors. She explicitly states that if you do not do this one, it will essentially affect the ending of the game, your outcome. So I'm like, well, I don't want to get a bad grade. So I went back and tried to rescue all of these people, and it probably took me 10 tries. Because you start attacking all these enemies that are by themselves, and you get to those mummy heads, the guys that'll shoot like the laser beams out at you. You can attack one of them, but then the other one's already just shooting laser beams at you, and you get hit once. Even if they brush you wrong, you explode and die. Just a super bullshit part of the game.
Yeah, but you can go and fix the virus and then still do that bit, so it doesn't matter.
Well, she made
It doesn't tell you that, but
yeah, it didn't. She made it sound like you got to do it now.
no, she's full of shite. Don't listen to her.
The boss fights were okay in the game.
They weren't. They were terrible.
I don't know.
There's nothing I liked about this game, to be quite honest.
See, and I was thinking as I started playing, I'm like, man, this game's right up Dan's alley.
I thought so too, because it's kind of like all the slashing, like the action slash RPG stuff.
I mean, I know how much you love to press square,
but like
I do.
I'm thinking of it's like a mechy sort of old like a DMC type game.
It is, but you have like one attack. It's just rubbish, and you fight the same enemies.
Yeah.
The controls are terrible. The storyline is terrible. The voice acting is terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Always weird seeing the subtitles, because they look exactly the same as Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. The menu looks the same as Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Like the Codename logo flashes up. And
See,
then,
this is. I grew up playing. Did you ever play the Armored Core series?
no.
So I grew up playing Armored Core. I think the PS2 one was Armored Core 4. I don't know if I still have my copy. And this made me want to play that. Like, this is just a really bad Armored Core, because everything about Armored Core you could customize different weapons and different abilities, and you had all these tree charts that you could go through, and you could fully customize your mech for that specific mission. This was just kind of like, okay, well, I have a sword, and let's go. The story in it just, I didn't understand what the hell that was going on as an overarching thing. You get to the end of it, and you have this beef with Viola, who's the orbital frame pilot, who you have an opportunity to kill her at the beginning, and she runs away, and then you face off with her for 2 more times or something like that, and finally, your final battle with her, you blast her out of the colony, and she's drifting towards Jupiter, and you're having this internal struggle of, should I save her or should I not? And she says, well, trust me, if you save me, I will find you again and kill you. And she's doing this whole internal monologue with herself as she's drifting into the atmosphere and burning up. And just, I don't know what the hell this game was supposed to be about. I don't know what story it was supposed to be telling. If it was supposed to have some underlying meaning, completely lost.
Well, the basic premise of it is you get in this mech, and then they say, all right, you need to go to Mars. And you do not go to Mars.
Oh, that's right, because Jehuty was a special mech that you had that they tasked you. Now that apparently you were the only one capable of flying this thing, you are tasked with delivering that orbital frame to Mars, to the Antilia group.
Yeah, and basically you don't, as far as I understand, you don't save anybody on the colony because you blow most of it up when you're fighting people. And then that stupid wifey tells you every time that you're blowing up the buildings. And then, like, it's just, I don't know, it's rubbish. I so wanted to like it. Like, the concept and things is really good. Apparently
there were
the...
parts where I liked it. There were some parts where, like, yeah, this combat's pretty fun when you're zipping around and, you can do dash attacks and...
Yeah, if it wasn't as clunky as it is, it would be a lot better, but... It's...
How about shooting down those porters?
That's what I was saying before, like, the aiming is just terrible.
It's crap. So these little porters are purple pots around the map that if you destroy all of them, it releases a vector trap with a special weapon or a passcode or something. I got to the point where I would just perch myself up and then use the sniper rifle around the map to catch all of them, because if you got too close to it, you just could not hit it.
Yeah, and then if you try and back up a bit, the camera automatically rotates behind you, so you then have to turn back round again.
It's a really interesting camera.
Yeah, the camera is controlled by, so you can be pushing left to move left, and then if you release the left stick, the camera will go behind you, which makes no sense, because then you have to lose your momentum by letting go of the left stick. It's just weird.
It was good enough for a sequel, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently, but I honestly think it's because it sold really well because of the MGS2 demo.
Yeah, okay, it's skimming off the success of the Metal Gear series, I guess. Yeah.
So I'm just reading a little bit here about the releasing of this. Apparently, Zone of the Enders Second Runner was never released in North America.
Oh.
So then they did the HD collection, and the hype for the HD collection was almost entirely around the second game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just released the Second Runner as well on VR.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to play this in VR.
I don't think it needs a VR game. Well,
No.
why?
But it's a different game, though, right? It's the second game
Yeah.
in VR, so maybe. I don't
But
know.
it's Mars, but the A is
So-
upside down, so it looks like a V.
Emvars.
Emvers.
No,
But it's
Emvers.
but if you take an A from Mars.
It's Zone of the Endors 2E, guys. That's what it is.
Thanks for explaining. I didn't know it was a sequel.
Got
at that
it. I'm waiting for 3.
point. Yeah.
Zone of the
Overall,
Endors, the Second Runner.
The game itself received pretty decent scores in its day.
76 round average.
Game Informer gave it a 9.25.
Nice.
What? What were they playing?
One of my favorites, Game Revolution, gave it a solid B-. I mean, that's a good shot. Good try.
Are they one of your favorites?
Oh yeah, I love Game Revolution.
I've never even heard of them. Have
I
you
like how
done?
they did it on the grading scale, like A through F.
Ah. You heard of them, Dan? Game Revolution?
Yeah, I think I've heard of them. I would never look at it, though.
That's the one I read all the time as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna revolt. I'm gonna... Yeah.
Oh, like print form or digital?
Digital.
I'm revolting! I look at this!
It was a revolution, and I was in like my skater punk phase.
Got
like,
it.
I want to be part of a revolution. Read about a video game. End of the day, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Thanks, Mike.
It's payback for you making us play Gex,
Who chose Ghostbusters?
Mike.
God damn it, Mike.
Wait, so have we all picked a shitty game this year so far?
No, Halo. I picked Halo.
I haven't picked a shitty game
Which
yet.
is probably our best show of the year. Just saying.
Tom, it's April.
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, wait.
Q1 is over, Dan.
I picked Just Cause, and they didn't like that.
No.
No, we didn't.
I liked it, so I'm going to chalk it up as a win for me. And I picked Ace Combat.
I
Oh,
don't think...
God. Mixed bag.
Oh wait, no, Just Cause was last year. I'm
No.
off the grid for that. Ace Combat was great.
Oh, Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It's a good game.
I'd recommend that. So yeah, that's a Zone of the Endors. A very
Hey, Dan. Did you play much of Chronicles of Riddick?
No, actually, because I realised early on that I wasn't going to be on the show, so
Oh,
I kind of... And then Sekiro came, so I was like, yeah, I'll play that.
Okay.
You'll have to listen to our show on it. I think you would genuinely enjoy it. It's a short jaunt, but I think you would really like it.
I wasn't not enjoying it. I just got to a bit where I had little health, and there was these turrets on the walls, and they just kept killing me over and over again, and I just couldn't be bothered with it.
Yeah, there is kind of a brick wall in the middle, but I would recommend finishing it, and then I'm going to actually go on as I have time and play Assault on Dark Athena, because it's really cool.
Well, at least we've all got it now if we ever play it for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's eligible. But coming up next, we have April 21st, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yes!
Never heard of it.
We are going to be joined by Mr. Castlevania himself, Zach Foley. Apparently that dude plays it through to 110% completion at least once a year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. We played it once for the show a long time ago with Oliver from the old Manitank podcast. But you guys have never played it, have you?
Oh, no.
I've never played it.
It's so fun. It's
Shock.
so much fun. And I'm not a huge Castlevania fan.
No.
I've put it off for years. I've looked at it so many times because I've wanted to do it for the show, so I've put it off and
Yeah.
put it off, and finally, it is happening.
And then we're going to do Star Wars The Force Unleashed,
Yes.
followed by Fable, and then Mike's brilliant choice of A Boy and His Blob.
We're doing Star Wars on the May the 5th because it's May the 4th.
I don't get it.
May the 4th.
I don't get it.
Be with.
Do you have a
Be with
lisp?
Is that like May 40?
May the 4th.
Yeah, but do you have, like, why are you saying it like that? Do you have a lisp?
No, it's just you can see how close they are.
I can't.
May
I
the
mean, you're saying it
4th.
goofy. It's Force, not Fourth.
May the 4th be with you.
Do you have something in your teeth?
What do you say for fourth?
May the 4th.
No, Eric, what do you say?
But the saying is, "May the Force be with you."
Yeah, but it's May the 4th.
Why are you saying it like that? Like, do you have a?
Star Wars Day.
I don't get it.
He doesn't get it.
So, right, May the 4th is like the 4th day in May,
Yeah.
like May 40, right?
Okay, May 4th.
And that's, if you say 4th, it sounds a bit like Force, so that what they've done is made that Star Wars Day,
Yeah.
because it's May the 4th be with you, because it's the 4th
He's
day
fucking goofy.
in May.
Why do you give yourself a lisp?
No, it's
How do you say 4th?
I get it, Dan. I get it. I understand it.
Yeah, but knowing you probably would
I
say
just
it wrong.
can't stand that. I think it's one of the dumbest things. It's just ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous.
It's like March the 10th.
With you. Get it? Get it?
It's not as cool as March the 10th being Mario Day.
I like that one. But then they've turned in like May the 6th to Sith Day or something. Or is it May the 5th is Sith Day?
Is it? I didn't know that. Oh, because of the 5th? Okay, that's.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
May the 5th be with you. Yeah, no, I no.
May the 4th is dumb enough. God, I can't stand it. Like, I generally... Oh, God. Anyway. And then we're starting our Summer of Kingdom Hearts, which... So, Dan, let's get your input on this. Tom and I were discussing yesterday. Let's do Kingdom Hearts in 2 shows, not 4.
I think we could probably do it in 2.
Yeah.
It's not as long as you think.
No.
I just don't want to spend 2 months on it.
Yeah, 2 months is quite a long time.
I don't think we can squeeze 4. Not out of the first one, when they get more convoluted in 2, maybe, but
yeah,
I don't think out of the first one.
That would average around 8 hours. If it's like approximately 2 hours a show.
Yeah, 8 hours of Kingdom Hearts a lot. We did 4 shows on it on Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's got 4 discs.
Yeah.
But the last disc has nothing on it. But
plus, you all did different playthroughs.
Yeah.
So you had a bit more.
Well, we did 4 shows for Final Fantasy IX too, didn't we?
No.
No, we did 3 because the fourth disc again has nothing on it.
That's
so,
right. Dan, do you have the Facebook thing up?
I do not.
Facebook.
We should pull
.com.
We should pull that up.
/groups/Factory Sealed podcast.
Is that what it is?
Nice plug, Tom.
That is it. Yeah, I was worried for a second that wasn't it.
Facebook.com. I caught that. All right, so here we go.
Facebook.com/show me your Endor.
Don't go on that.
That'll be a subdomain of howlongtobeatoff.com. So Mark Marchetti wants to know, is anyone playing it in VR? I think we discussed that. James Hall, how about those controls? I just played the second one and several times nearly rage quit because of those clunky controls.
Yes, the abolic.
Controls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, covered it.
So
bad.
Covered it?
Because of the triangle X ascent, descent.
It would have been better if they mapped it to the right
and
stick.
locking it to the camera. That must have been because when I saw you traversing through some of the indoor-ish areas.
Yeah, you can't you can't smoothly swing the camera around you.
Yeah, so
yeah. Well,
it would have been better if the camera was fixed behind its arse, and like you say, it had the right stick move up and down.
They should have had Endor cams. You're just looking through the.
Oh man, maybe that's
straight through the cockpit.
Yeah,
you look up and you just see this lumbering body above you. Like, well, I'm a dick.
I'm the balls.
Well, finally you've realised.
We have one bit of housekeeping business. We are on Patreon if you want to support us. Patreon.com/FactorySealed. However, we did recently put up a new tier called Player 5 that we have to revamp due to not being in compliance with Patreon rules. So
you're naughty.
Initially, we had put that up where if you were donating $5 or more, we would donate, or we would give away a copy of each of the games for each show. But apparently that is against Patreon rules because it technically constitutes gambling.
Apparently so.
Yeah. So we need to revamp that to get ourselves back within compliance for them. So if you donated $5 to get in on that, we'll understand if you want to adjust your pledge. If you keep it at that, great. We are still going to try to find a way to do that so that we can side skirt that because we still really want to give away copies of the games. We just need to find a loophole.
Yeah, and we'll get there. We had no intention of it totally messing up like that, but it's just the way.
We prefer to not have our account shut down.
Yeah.
We could just set up a form on the website or something, couldn't we? People could fill in.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I think something like that we could do.
Yeah, but we need to revamp that, and I just wanted people to know that we didn't just stop doing that after one.
Yeah.
But we did get notified, and we need to take that into consideration. So, other than that, I think that's it for Zone of the Enders. We're going to be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks for Symphony of the Night.
2 weeks for Symphony of the Night. Daniel.
Hello.
Don't destroy any more cars.
I'll try not to. Make sure there's oil in it this time.
Make sure it's car oil, not like cooking oil or coconut oil.
Oh, is that where I went wrong?
He's just putting sex lube
vegetable
oil in there.
Yeah. Crystal.
I was just distracted, guys. I was looking off into the distance at a zone, and I was going, I wonder if there may or may not be Endors in there.